know so many leaders we work with that they're sitting there thinking about their schedule right now, and they're going, yeah, I don't have time. Like, when is this going to happen? I've got business, I've got kids, I've got a husband or wife I'm dealing with, I got all these different things. When do I fit in there? Hey everybody, welcome to the Leader Lab. This is Leadership Shorts, quick thoughts to help you level up your leadership. My name is Chad Wright. I'm the founder of Forward Partners, and I'm joined, as always, by my partner in podcasting, Emily Grace Deal. EGD, what are we talking about today?
We are getting busier at Forward Partners.
We are doing that for sure. A lot busier.
We got things happening.
Yes, we got all the things happening.
I have noticed that you are doing more and more prioritizing yourself.
Okay, I'm trying.
Even as we're struggling to kind of find any open time on the calendar. These months are filling up, right?
They really are, yeah.
But you're finding more time to invest in yourself. So
I am.
Talk to me about your thinking, how you're kind of getting able to do that.
You know, a question hit me the other day. It just kind of popped into my head. When is the most important time to prioritize your health and yourself? Mm-hmm. And I realized the answer was when it's the hardest. When it is the most difficult to prioritize yourself is when it's needed the most.
Yeah. I
mean, the reason it's difficult right now, we got more people counting on us. We got more people looking at us for solutions and for ideas and for a hope for a way forward.
Yeah.
Those people need me to be healthy. Our team is growing. Our team is getting bigger. As it gets bigger, y'all need me to be even healthier than I was before.
Right.
The reason things are so busy right now is because we have more people counting on us.
That seems almost backwards thinking, because normally we're like, that's the first thing to go, but it's the most important.
It is, and it really motivated me, honestly. Like, I have gotten on a much better track physical health-wise. Like, I've been doing pretty good spiritually, emotionally. Physically, it's been a real wrestle over the last few years. COVID just knocked me out of our normal orbit of good physical habits with the way that impacted us. And right now, as I looked at how hard it was, like right now we're in a situation where, gosh, we're booked up 2 months in advance. It's like, hey, I want to meet with you. Great. What does August look like? Like, it feels terrible to even say. We're booked up so far in advance. It's so hard to find time on the calendar. And I was starting to feel the weight of that and starting to notice habits getting even worse physically.
Right.
And so I was like, man, we got to fix this. And so it just, my hope is other leaders will look at that and go, man, I can't find time either.
Well, it becomes so easy too when you're like, oh, well, we'll deal with that after August, right? Because, that's whenever it seems
But I'm noticing
doable.
it's not changing.
It's
it
never
started
get
sometime,
here.
like we ramped up last year, late last year, things got really busy. And I started noticing, like, I'm booking up a few months in advance. And it got even worse this year. It accelerated in a good way. Like, none of it's bad.
Yeah, we're not mad about any of that.
Good. No, we're not mad about it at all. In fact, if you need help, Chad at forwardpartners.net. He'll get back to you. Thanks to his lovely new administrative assistant. It will happen actually this time.
Yes.
But as things are growing, as we're getting busier and busier, I'm seeing the need for that. Because what I also started to realize was if it continues to grow, what I'm currently doing is not sustainable. It's not going to work. And I think that's what we need leaders to think about. Like, I know so many leaders we work with that they're sitting there thinking about their schedule right now, and they're going, yeah, I don't have time. Like, when is this going to happen? I've got business, I've got kids, I've got a husband or wife I'm dealing with, I got all these different things. When do I fit in there?
I really like the idea that thinking about sustainability as like whenever it's the hardest, it's the most important. Like, if you're gonna do the long term, you have to start doing it right now.
Yes.
Otherwise, you're never gonna get to the sustainability point. You're never gonna do it long term.
Because if you can't do it now, what happens if things get even busier?
Right.
Because the reality is, I think right now we're kind of on this curve where everything's going up. The reality is, if I can't continue to build capacity in myself internally first with my own health, and then also by adding team members, by doing other things like that, eventually that levels off and eventually starts to go down.
Yeah, I was thinking this might be unique to us, but it's not, because it's well, I'm thinking about like we can't ask other people to do it if we aren't doing it ourselves.
Yes.
You know what I mean? But I'm also thinking about
big piece of it. Yes.
I'm also thinking about leaders doing it. We just talked about leaders being vulnerable first so that their team can do it as well.
Yes.
It's the same thing,
right?
There's all these different levels. We need to be able to practice what we are saying so that people see that it's possible, and leaders can do that for their team as well.
Well, and this it's so funny you brought that up. I saw one of my great friends and mentors, Andrew, last week. And he was talking about his anniversary dinner this weekend. They were going to get away for a couple days, do a thing. But he's also a part of a search and rescue team. Mm-hmm. He's like, yeah, we just got an alert. I'm probably going to have to go out. I said, on your anniversary weekend? And he goes, yeah, got to do it. I'm a leader. I said, let me ask you this. Would you want any of your team to skip their anniversary weekend to come do this? And he's like, okay.
It's hard.
It really is hard, right? Because it's easier to just go do the thing.
Well, and you think it just, well, that's just me. No, because you are still setting that expectation for yourself and for everybody else.
Yes.
There's no, you're not an exception to the rule.
Because when I think about it, the reality is I wouldn't want any of y'all on my team to abandon your health right now because we're busy.
Yep.
But if I don't take care of myself, I'm doing the same thing. I'm setting that example.
Right.
And eventually, like if it's going like this, but eventually it levels off and then it starts to go down, there's a breaking point somewhere in that process of going down. If we want to avoid the breaking point, we got to prioritize ourselves now and not wait until then. Yeah. And so I think that's a big piece of this is if leaders, next steps, if you walk away with nothing else from this episode, I just want you to walk away with this simple idea. When it is the most difficult to prioritize yourself is absolutely when you need to do it. That is when it is most vital. And we've got previous episodes. If this is your first time listening, we have previous episodes where we've dove into how do you prioritize yourself? How do you create that morning routine? How do you create that mindset? How do you make sure your things that invest in you land on the calendar and the task list? This is just understanding when, and it's when it's the most difficult. That's when it matters the most. When it matters the most to show up as a great parent, as a great spouse, is when it's the most difficult. It's true in investing in ourselves as well as leaders.
Yeah.
I love this idea. It's simple, but again, we don't do it very well. So I want leaders to think about this. If people want to send us ideas, if they're wrestling with this and would like some help breaking down their calendar and thinking about things, how do they reach out to us?
To lab@forwardpartners.net.
Lab@forwardpartners.net. And we would love to get those emails to help you kind of wrestle through these ideas because as simple as they are, they're hard to implement.
Yes.
If people want to find us online where we're putting out social media content constantly about healthy leadership and how to get there, where do they find us on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram?
@ForwardPartner.
@ForwardPartner. Emily, thank you for this conversation.
Thank you.
John, thank you for producing. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Find a way to prioritize yourself because I promise you're finding that a challenge right now. Find a way because it matters. We'll see you next time right here in the Leader Lab for Leadership Shorts.